Hi, this is Storm here. I'm super excited to share with you all today my Witchcrafter White Forest Azamina deck profile. The deck has a lot going on and can end on many board states, which is one of the fun things about this deck. You're not always locked into one thing, which I like and was one of my goals when building this deck. By the way, check out the description below the video for timestamps, as later on in the video I will have some play testing for you all and show you a little bit of what this deck can do, as well as try and show you how to kind of play this deck, at least loosely, and certain mechanics of the deck. Some of you may want just the profile, while others may want to know more about the deck, so I'm going to do my best to give as much info as I can, though, throughout the video. I say that this deck has a lot going on, not only because of all the archetypes that are packed into this deck, but also because there is a lot to remember with the graveyard from tech cards, Witchcrafter, and the White Forest archetypes as well, if you decide to run Awakening of the Possessed Rezenryu. That card can summon from the main deck, so it's a very out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. I have never seen any of the archetypes run Rezenryu, but it's so cool, and I don't think anyone would be expecting it. Rasenryu can use not only Ranryu, of course, but also Genni as well. So it's great if you get negated with Genni, as well as you can make it to go into Mysterion, the Dragon Crown. As you will see when I get to the extra deck here in a bit, although I tend to use the Shadow's Light off of Vice to go into Mysterion most often. Sinful Spoils of Dumerciella is a nice card to have. It can make for so many plays and follow-ups in the deck. It makes whatever card I target unaffected by other monster effects for the rest of the turn, but it also makes all my opponent's monsters lose attack equal to the attack of whatever card of mine I targeted. If their monsters hit 0 attack, they will get destroyed. It's a spell as well, so any big body hanging on, if it triggers Vice, you can pop that as well, so you're not just limited to the attack drop to clear boards with this card. It also can be sent from the graveyard to the main deck by Wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils Graveyard effect, allowing you to get a draw, which is nice. Okay, here we are. We are now in the extra deck. I did my best to make the text clear on each card, so if you need to pause the video to see what the cards do, by all means, do so. I'm just mainly breezing through these cards to not make the video too long, as well as, in a moment, I'm about to show you what a few of the cards do. We are running Winda. She is not too hard to get out in this deck, because as I will show you, this deck can actually send the instant fusion to the graveyard using Lacrima of Light and using Diabell Queen to add it to hand. Edel is our catalyst for getting Winda out the graveyard, and you can send Winda there many ways with link monsters or fusion summons, or even using the Vice to pop her to get her back. Also, Shadow's Light lets you summon Edel off of Winda, so it is pretty cool. I would say Lady Every could be a card. You could cut easy to make room for something else, but I have it, and it's a target for Shadow's Light off of Hain and Diabell, the Black Witch, so she is a fun card. IP and SP. Should I say any more? It's really good, and even sometimes making room on my board for things like Rusia and Sylvie to come from the graveyard, among other things. Well, we are on the topic of making Winda and making her with instant fusion from the deck and not the hand. I will now show you one way you can do this. The video may be a bit fast, and feel free to slow the video down or pause it to see what is really going on if you need. It's really all about using Lacrima, or if you need to send even the instant fusion from your hand for whatever reason to the graveyard, you can skip the Lacrima step and go into your level 6 White Forest cards. And from there, when you go into Diabell Queen, you can add the instant fusion to the hand from the graveyard. You will also see in a moment, as I'm going to roll the rest of this clip here, that I end up with 4 cards in hand with this board state, which is really good. However, keep in mind, I'm not really going up against any kind of deck or even player here for that matter. This is more so just to show you the potential of what this deck can do, but many opponents will have at least one hand trap, so you can suspect interruption of some kind. Here is one more way to make Winda, and you all can see the hand does not even look that insane, but we end on a board with Vice and her 3 effects, so adding a Witchcrafter spell back to hand, a pop, as well as special summon from deck. For my lower level Witchcrafters, if I so need it, we end on Madame Vere also with a spell in hand to get her buffer and negate effects. And here's the thing, her negate negates all monsters for the rest of the turn the opponent has on the board. So really, it's this board where my opponent gets one special summon and I can negate its effects and also pop it well at the same time if need be. Well, we are also on the topic of Winda. I would also like to point out, well, it's not here in this clip or even video, that it's also worth noting that Winda is so great in the way that it works flawlessly with Witchcrafter Golemaruru, so it does not lock me out of her, which is really, really nice. So if your pops and negates were not enough, your opponent may very well go for a attack even on Winda herself, and you can just slap down Aruru from hand, returning that monster back to hand that also works with effects as well, assuming they target, as well as it's for all spellcasters, not just witchcrafters, hence why it also works with Winda as well. In this next clip, you will see this deck looks like going up against a bot Evil's Worm deck. Nothing crazy, more so just showing, again, this deck playing. The more I can put in this video, showing how the deck plays, the more understanding of it everyone will have, and may even inspire some of you all to give this deck a try. I feel I'm not the best pilot of this deck, or any deck for that matter, so would love to see what the deck could do in more skilled hands, or even see some even better cards to put in this deck as well. One of my main things I wanted to do was really boost what Witchcrafters could do, because they're just not enough on their own, but alongside other cards I think there is something there, but I also could just be coping. You can see I really did not trust the back row here, and was going to use the Blazing effect to go into the Azamina cards, but it stopped me using Strike, and I ended up just going for game. This next clip, I'm going to show off some of the Azamina cards. They're also not hard to make in this deck. In fact, there are silly ways to make Saint Azamina that your opponent, if never seen it before, may be like, I did not see that coming, because you can make Vice and Lady Every, for example, and go into Saint Azamina. Like, again, this deck is very flexible on what you can go into and how you can go into the cards you want. Like, what you're seeing here is just how tied in the Witchcrafter deck is with everything else around it. You see me here using Wanted Graveyard effect. To trigger Vice effect, well, allowing me also to draw a card, and Vice will use her special summon effect to bring out Pottery for the level 2, and you will see how I go into White Forest plays with this. You just seen me grab Rusha off of Ursula, one of the newer cards I added to the deck along with Elzette. Aruru can also be a good target if for some reason you already have Rusha in hand. I sadly was not able to go into Diabell Queen the way I played this. However, it's not that big of a deal, as it does not stop me from going into Saint Azamina. Sometimes the deck plays where you can set it up on your turn, but other times you will have to set some things up on your opponent's draw phase, which can work. Blazing is in the deck, so you can get it out on your turn, but it just does not always work out in that way. You will also see how crazy the Azamina effects are if you don't know these cards yet. Not only does Saint Azamina have 4,000 defense, it makes it to where my opponent can't target cards in their graveyard, on their field, or their banished zone. Also, they can't target Saint Azamina herself with card effects. The opponent takes any battle damage I would have taken, and also cheats out any level 9 or lower Azamina card from main deck or extra deck. I tend to go for Ilia Sylvia for her negate, as well as when she is on the board, she doubles the attack of my other Azamina monsters. So as you will see here, when I go to attack for game with Azamina, it's a death blow, truly. Azamina also gets rid of one of your opponent's monsters as well when you summon her. I will also say the great things about making Saint Azamina are on your turn is much better, because you sometimes can get Vice on the board as well, or some other card that is much harder to do when you do it on your opponent's turn. Sometimes Edel will work, or even Jenny and Holiday, that you can even use the Schmietta to help with this in the graveyard. I'm going to leave you all with one more board set up where I was able to set up Vice with Azamina. It is a rather good board, I would say. It ends on 2 negates with Madame Vere and Ilia Sylvia, Vice effects that includes a pop. None targeting, by the way, a Sinful Spoils of Doom Archeela in the back row, and a IP ready to make SP at any moment. Thank you all for watching my video, and I hope it was fun and helpful. Feel free to ask things about the deck in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to you all. I will also be posting my deck profile online, and we'll try and put a link to it as well below the video so you all can play test as well for yourself a little easier. This is Storm. Out!